Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, have we got some news for you. Now, I haven't covered the Fuel Fest footage that Tokyo Xtreme Racer had a live demo at Fuel Fest in Arizona. There was other creators that got to go see some stuff about it. We got gameplay. They then released a, let me pull it up. I haven't covered a lot of this. We've been talking about in the Discord. We have the Twitter updates in the Discord, which you go to my Discord, every time they've announced the new, like, Varus is in the game, Eurus is in the game, Trust, Toms. We're still waiting on this video. I don't think it's out. No, it should be coming soon. Literally, like, every time something has come out, you know, we talk about it in the Discord. It's been a whole thing, right? So, the last thing, I didn't even cover the gameplay. I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it sit. My other video was doing good. I saw Black Panther did a video about it. He can definitely get a lot more eyeballs on this game than I can, just because he has a bigger audience. But I literally been playing this game since 2001. I got 0. Huge fan. It's honestly crazy to see that Genki is back. But we have some crazy news today. This just came out. They're dropping the game in early access in 17 days. Just a little over 2 weeks. We can play Tokyo Xtreme Racer 2025. Release date January 22nd this year. This is absolutely crazy. Now, if you haven't been keeping up, they've dropped a lot of info. Our last video, they updated the website. We've gone over. There's a thing here where they say player skill gains. We got to see what that's about. But we're going to read all this, and we're going to look at kind of everything that's going on. Haven't missed too much. If you've been in our Discord, you've seen everything, right? But as far as their page, Betrayal Jackknife driving a BRZ, kind of weird. Rip S13, but I get it. We got the I don't know what, it's just the newest Subaru. Okay, I don't know. Well, not the new one, but the one before that. I don't know the body code for that one. Melancholic Angel, Midnight Rose is in a 370 now instead of the 3000 GT, which I think is going to be in this game. Bloodhound's also not in a 4-door, but we've gotten some info, right? So let's read what's going on with Steam here, okay? Before we get into that, minimum specs. I know a lot of people don't have a PC. A lot of people are like, let it come to console. Minimum specs are really, really, really low. I mean, a game that can run on a 1050 in this day and age is absolutely crazy. So if you don't have a crazy PC, you can still play, all right, an i7 7700 with a GTX 1050. That's pretty generous. Recommended. I've got a 2070 Super. It needs an upgrade, but I'll be okay. I will be okay running this game on like high settings. You know, but let's read what they talk about with early access here. Why early access? Since this is the first time in over 18 years that Tokyo Xtreme Racer will be returning. I never thought I'd see the day, man. It's just, you know, when they announced this, it's just... Anyway, you know me. I like this game. We felt it would be best to launch the game in early access to do justice to the franchise. A lot has changed in the genre since Tokyo Xtreme Racer was around. True. And we believe it's just as important to collect feedback not only from the fans that have stuck with the franchise, but also from racing game fans in general. We would greatly appreciate your feedback to help Tokyo Xtreme Racer become what our fans truly deserve and to help new fans discover their love of us. Perfect. Perfect. Let us get the game. Let us see what's going on. Let's give feedback. You know what I mean? And go from there, man. And I'm assuming they said 4 months early access. So I heard rumored they were going to drop it around March, April anyway. That puts us end of April. Fine with me. Approximately how long will this game be in early access? The plan is to improve the quality of the game by making various improvements based on your feedback over the course of approximately 4 months of early access. Depending on how the progress of development goes throughout early access, we will decide and announce the full release of the game as soon as possible. How is the full version planned to differ from early access version? Upon release of early access, the game will include the story playable up to roughly the halfway mark, with a focus on SP battle and the car tuning features. Okay, 200 rivals. That's still hours of gameplay. Like, you're probably gonna get 15 to 20 hours out of that. 200 is a lot. That's a lot of rivals. That's a lot of dudes to race, all right? Player skill gains. A new feature to the franchise will be included in the early access experience as well. Player skill gains. I wonder exactly what that's going to be. I was trying to like brainstorm. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm very curious to get in there and see. We plan for the full release of the game to include additional storylines, vehicles, and rival characters. We also plan to continue making improvements and address various potential issues before the full release of the game, all with the help of your feedback, of course. Perfect for me. New storylines, which could be, you know, the backstory that they put in with all, like, that's the best part. Going in after you defeat the rivals and looking at, like, I wonder, it's probably gonna be like the old ones where you race them, and then after you race them, like, you can see a little bit of their bio, and then after you beat them, you see the rest of their bio. Last time we did, I don't think last time we did on Portuner Challenge, but the time before that, no, I think I did it on both. We read all the character, all the descriptions and the backstories and stuff. Let's see, but yeah, I mean, if they're really just gonna have half the game, still, that's big, right? So what is the current state of early access version? Over 200 rival characters, each with their own unique storyline, have been implemented already. There will also be a total of 50 playable cars, which, if you know, coming from Import Tuner Challenge, we really only had, like, I think it was like 20 to 22 cars that you could actually buy and customize. There were other cars in the game, but they were like the rival cars. You could buy them. Like, you could buy the Rolling Master. You could buy, I think it was like the Eclipse 4G. You could buy the boss cars. So those didn't really count. I'm sure some of those will be in here. But, I mean, this is already like double what Import Tuner Challenge was. Now, I know we'd like to go back to the days of Zero where they kind of had manufacturers, but also didn't, like, they slightly changed it. I don't think you can really get away. I know Grand Theft Auto gets away with it, but they pretty heavily changed the car. All right. I don't think a company can get away with that in this day and age, unfortunately. So I don't think we're going to see like the old days of Zero. Because 3 had the actual manufacturers, right? And we know that there won't be any overseas, like any American stuff, European. It's going to be all Japanese cars, which I'm fine with because fucking those are my favorite. As you know, I owned an R33 over here in the States, and you know, Japanese just best. All right. But yeah, a total of 50 playable cars and over 180 kilometers worth of Shuto Expressway to race upon, which I believe we're getting like Daikoku PA and stuff finally, which has always been the dream for Tokyo Extreme Racer, because you can drive by it and you're like, man, come on, let me down there. But I mean, for early access, right? It's not a huge car list, but for them coming back, not having a big budget, I'm really hoping this game does well and a lot of people get into it, and we can see an increase. Or they've said in interviews that they do want to continue to make these games and make sequels. If we could get a Tokyo Extreme Racer Drift sequel, if we can get a sequel where not only did they add Tokyo, they go back to Nagoya, Osaka, you know what I mean? Even if they, like, there's so much potential here, and if we support Genki and we can get them, I mean, look, it's one of the best racing games ever. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's stale, you just race on the highway, you flash your lights, and then that's it. Like, this game has so much heart and soul into it. It's just, it's too good, man. Okay, so what? You get another open world game, you drive around, it's sandbox, it's crap arcade handling. So what? This game, you get on the highway, real highway, bosses, rivals, like, it's the Dark Souls of racing games, and it's just the best that's out there. Hence why I have all the playthroughs on my channel. It's just such a good game. It's underrated, and a lot of people have gotten into it over the years. So I pray for a good launch for them, man. But we need it. We need them to stick around. We need them to get the funding. Come on. Anyway, will the game be priced differently during and after early access? With the addition of content and features, we may decide to increase the price for full release. However, people who purchase the early access version will be able to continue playing the full release version upon launch. So if they up it by 10, 20 bucks at full release and you have early access, guess what? You got it. No change. So that's cool. How are you planning on involving the community in your development process? We will be collecting feedback through the Steam community. We are open to receiving suggestions, bug reports, and feedback in general. I know me, I'm going to be hitting this game hard. I'm going to be putting at least 100 hours into it, probably the first 2 weeks. And we'll really dig into it, see if we can find any bugs, any suggestions for gameplay improvements, I think one of the things I'm already going to shoot for is the camera. Maybe a camera that's... Because it was kind of a problem in Import Tuner Challenge. I like the chase cam, right? I know a lot of people like the cockpit. We're not going to have the cockpit with all the gauges and stuff. They just don't have the budget for that, I think is what they said. But I'm not a fan of bumper cam. I like seeing the car. And in Import Tuner Challenge, especially when you got like the Evo, the camera, you couldn't see like the road. You couldn't see in front of you. You couldn't really see the cars. It was just... You know, if the camera was a little bit higher over the roof line so you could see in front of you, that'd be great. And like some of the photos here, like this, that's okay because you can see. I think there was one. I'd have maybe the Supra here. Do you see? Like, I know we're going uphill a little bit here, but do you see how the car, you can't see the road? Now, keep in mind, this is a little bit before this goes to, is this the Shibuya line? I don't remember. It was in Import Tuner Challenge. Obviously we can't go that way because there's an arrow here, but this is on the C1, the slight uphill, but still I feel like the camera maybe could come up a little bit more so you can see in front of you. There's some of those big body cars, it was a pain. So I think that's already going to be one of my feedbacks depending on how it looks in the game. But you know, we'll have to get in to see. But I mean, like, look at this Mazda 3. You got the actual work wheels. I wanted those on my 350Z, but they were just so goddamn expensive. Look, man. Yes. Approximately 2 weeks. That's it. So if you haven't been keeping up, head to their official YouTube. Check out the gameplay. Actual gameplay footage. I guess we'll finish off with this since we didn't watch it. You know? But like even... I guess the camera's not horrible here. Right? Like yeah, you can see a good amount. I think the Supra, it's just a bigger car. I mean, look at this, man. It's back. Now they're letting off the gas a lot. One thing I am going to definitely give them feedback on is difficulty. Import Tuner Challenge was way too easy. 0 was very challenging. But I already know I'm going to give them feedback on difficulty. Because if it's like Import Tuner Challenge and you just fly through... yeah, like here I guess the chase cam isn't horrible. You can still see in front of you. But because a lot of the cars you would just instantly smoke off the line, and that was that. Right, like look at this. He already backed off a little bit. He's backing off again. If he just went, he'd be gone. So I think a lot of us agree who have played the series that the difficulty maybe needs to bump up. It's almost like the regular racers and the so like the team leaders and the bosses were a challenge, but then everybody else was just too easy. So we'll have to see, you know, what it's looking like. But the fact that it's all the OG music is just amazing. So I don't know if it's the screen shake or if it's the way like the light looks, but it just looks choppy to me. It could be screen shake. So hopefully we can turn that off. It just looks like it's like either like the FPS is like stuttering or it's just shaking. I don't know. But I'm excited. Anyway, yeah, early access. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Wednesday, boys. We'll get in there. I know I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile content, but you know what? It is what it is. We're going to get into this gem. Boom, Midnight Rose. But look, man, they're back. 2 weeks. Mark your calendars, boys. Mark your calendars. Anyway, You know the drill. Subscribe, come back. See you on the next one.